So the next piece, AFJ, the performer who was going to perform, Abel Flores Jr., got sick. So his co-writer is here, Tyler Cochran, and he's going to take over for today. So I'll let you just take the floor, man.
All right.
Yay, Abel!
Yay, that's me,
Go
Abel Flores,
Abel.
that's me. So this is a demented political speech. It's absurdist in nature, as I'm sure you'll be able to soon find out. And it's as if a bunch of aliens watched a bunch of political speeches and just took all the big buzzwords and crammed them together to try and form a coherent speech. So please try to follow along. Good evening, local people. You may ask yourself, or someone you trust, is there actually an official governing position dedicated to leading this whole land, I say, with what the future time calls forward knowledge, that not only does such a role exist in higher administration of world affairs, but is quite necessary for the efficiency of the manifested destiny I have carefully chosen for each and every one of you here this evening. Hello, I'm AFJ. I cannot tell you how elated I am to be here in my favorite city in front of friends, family, immigrants, and legal citizens. I have been told by many experts that this is a place of progress, a progress so progressive that to stifle said progress would be a catastrophic halting of movement toward a progressive future of tomorrow. I congratulate you fine people for epitomizing the best America must offer, from the previously recognized Mason-Dixon line to any other equally as important border, such as the Louisiana Purchase. Tonight is an honor. My presence here is not likely, especially when you hear about my parents. Tonight, I share love and the possibility of love with you. I owe a debt to you, and only in this country can someone like me speak my mind in this open forum. Individualism and the interconnectedness is what keeps us together, whether it be a starving child or a starving senior citizen. We are all each other's keepers, whether we like it or not. Together, under me. It's very black and white. No more splitting, no little league. Pledging allegiance with tact and understanding is all that matters. Remember what this election will be about. Not just hope, but freedom for all brave legal citizens with dreams and desires. Audacity is my middle name. I salute you, both Dallas and Fort Worth, on your unity. This area holds a special place in my heart. This city sits on land many, if not most, do not remember its significance. You see, this is not entirely my choice, for I am sent through a probationary conjuring conspired by present political, emotional, and illusory crisis laid upon the naive and innocent sheep grazing this beautiful land. These two great cities are meant to be together. Leadership should be earned, and it certainly isn't cheap, and that is why your support is essential for the future. It is no coincidence that I'm here on this day in front of all of you. I can't help but be attracted to the knowledge I see in this crowd today, regardless of whether you are from Dallas, Fort Worth, or somewhere in between. Y'all have the know-how, and I have the name. And of course, that name would be AFJ. The link between success and power lies in the hands of you, which is why I need your help. I am announcing my candidacy, and this November is the most important month for all of us. We have many problems, and a big slice of North America is the solution. There will always be enemies, and ignoring/stopping them is the answer. I look to all the immigrants before me to rise, like a loaf of bread made with the most delicious of artisanal ingredients, and that together congeal into an amorphous blob of progress with a scrumptious crumb that tastes of freedom, like the first meal peacefully shared with your Native American brethren so many Thanksgivings ago. Some might say the world is indispensable, but misinformation and ignorance can deter our progress from confusion. In terms of my background, I've lived everywhere worth living and hold a bachelor's degree in sports nutrition, and I will defend that decision until the end of time. I find no advantage in taking political sides. We need guidance, and it's time to seize this opportunity with aggression. I promise to hit the ground running and sending a message to both Republicans and Democrats that drastic changes are needed. A stranglehold has been needed since as far back as 1996, when things like Eddie Bauer and Ace of Base still mattered. An infestation of failure is a stench I no longer wish to endure. I will develop and expand things to the best of my abilities, realizing that a local grassroots effort is necessary in harnessing quality ideas. Knowledge is a tool is a weapon, and with weapons you win. My beliefs are an open book, and pragmatism is just as important to me as winning. When you think of leadership, you think of my parents. My mother always found, through her nomadic ways, to shield me from the Texas heat and bullets. My father likes football. They let me find myself through various activities such as band and listening to the late Merle Haggard. They taught me some things about commerce, education, etc. Trees can be dangerous. Also, I'm getting a DNA test. I'm not sure where this train of thought is going. Let's move on. The age-old saying, talk sense to the American people, has never been more relevant. The security of our borders is constantly in chaos, and I promise to be at the center of it. Being able to sleep peacefully at night depends on two things: voting for me in November, and all things nuclear. Words are simply not enough, but neither are fists. Notice how I am neither pointing nor making a fist, but rather something in between. A pointed fist, if you will. Because with this pointed fist, my message is clear, your trust is earned, and our borders are safe. I would like to thank my fellow competitors, Mr. Doctrine, Mr. Monroe, and Mr. Marshall. It is their strength that gives me strength, and I admire their stances on the economy, etc. But let me offer a warning to those who stand in the way of freedom. I think we all remember what happened in Cuba, Laos, and most sections of the Atlantic Ocean. Strength is how we prevail, not through the hollowness of words. Here are the numbers: 1,000 days, 3 years, 50%. Survival is imminent. Some more numbers: 45%, 100%, 600%. Bitcoin. The voices in my head hear your gloom and desire more. Let my voice be your weapon in the war on debt and national security. I dream that the hordes of enemy soldiers on our doorsteps will be replaced with hordes of civil servants. Life is precious, but the death penalty can help us to remember that. Capital punishment helps us realize that killing people for killing people isn't just about killing, it's about life. Women's rights are also super important. Our military presence cannot and will not stand on its own shoulders. Communism will not be tolerated, and thankfully our allies such as Vietnam, parts of China, Korea, and Pakistan are behind us every step of the way when it comes to training and equipping our troops to the highest standards. Our success depends on missiles and their reaction to those missiles, and tyranny. Broadcasting in Spanish with truth and freedom. Satellites in orbit. The strength of Texas. Tackle and prosper. Western Europe. Billions of dollars. I miss you, Mom. My mother was a great lover of poetry, which is why I wanted to share with you a haiku that I wrote for her on this day. Mom, 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 oh Mom. Just look at me now, oh Mom. Making a difference. In conclusion, we are the generation to watch the world. Will we be worthy and responsible? Regardless, we must show strength. For as was written long ago, I won't go into a big spiel about reincarnation, but the first time I was in the Gucci store in Chicago was the closest I've ever felt to home. Good night and good luck. I will now take questions from the audience as long as they don't involve history, military, and North Korea, especially North Korea. It'll all make sense later. Thank you in advance.
So I'll start off the questions because I have one. Is this part of a bigger show?
We just kind of wanted this to be sort of an avant-garde kind of piece, not necessarily a longer show, that maybe tie in some visual elements or things like that. Maybe hold, just a happening just in the middle of a crowd or something like that, and give out this speech just to kind of get people riled up You question, is this guy being serious?
Oh, so, okay, so it's like in its entirety,
Yeah.
is the speech.
Right,
It's not, okay,
yeah.
Okay. Then I'll open it up, to any, comments you might have, anybody, anything stick out to you, like, as far as images go, or, the phrases?
I was wondering, what's the setting that you envision this to be? Is this a debate? Is this?
Just a spur of the moment type of thing, like maybe AFJ would carry his own podium around in a park and just slap it down and then give this speech.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Picking
actually,
people out's a priority.
I have a compliment that sounds like it's not a compliment,
Uh-oh.
which is that I found the first part really, really hard to listen to and not
Okay.
just tune out, because it sounds so similar to the like jargon and the
Oh.
continuous rhythm that you hear,
I'm so happy you said
that
that.
I often tune out because it's so present in the news.
Yeah,
So
Okay, good.
it kind of washed over me, and then I went, wait, what?
Yeah.
More than anything else.
Okay.
But then after the first section, it started to segment into like chunks that I could absorb rather than just
okay,
it washing over me.
okay.
That wasn't a question, I'm sorry.
No, that's helpful, thank you.
I love the numbers.
Okay.
More numbers! 600.
Yeah, numbers.
Yeah, I would say like more of that, like just go further. I think it was so strong when you were doing those things, and when you just kind of had those non sequiturs that just hang there. Those
Yeah.
are great.
Okay,
I would say just push that absurdity because it's working.
okay, cool.
The non sequiturs were definitely very strong moments.
I think it's much, much funnier than it seems like it is, because it's so dense
Yeah,
that I don't wanna laugh and miss the
Okay.
next sentence,
okay.
but it's really funny.
So we're pausing, that'll make it last longer.
Yeah,
So it's like I
yeah,
put
yeah,
this in more.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, give us a chance.
Okay.
And while I was listening to it, I was trying to figure out like, how do I get a beat on the thing, which I think is the point.
Yeah.
To tell the truth,
Mm.
it's like you can't get a beat on it.
Right.
Okay. Which I thought was really good. Like it kind of dawns on you as you go along, or as I was listening over time, I was like, oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Any last bit of questions or comments or observations? All right, rock and roll.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much, everyone.